What's going on, guys? Hey, welcome back to the channel. First time here, like and subscribe. We're going to get right into it really quickly so this won't be so prolonged. Um, I'm trying not to let the videos be so long, but it's so much to unpack with these, with these individuals and the couples that I do sometimes. All right. Today we're going to do Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade. Yes, they have been in the news off and on for different things. So we're going to get right into it. We're going to look at a couple of things as of why they are in the state of mind they are in right now, and also the state of their relationship, basically the state of their marriage. We don't have a birth time for these individuals, so we're just going to be looking at the planetary alignments, all right? I'm not going to rectify the charts or anything like that. We're just going to look at the planetary alignments of what's going on in terms of their relationship, okay? And when I say relationships, in terms of their planetary alignments, when it comes to relationships in their charts, and also their wedding day. And we're going to look at the day that he got engaged to her as well. So we're going to take a look at all of those things. All right. We're going to look at all of those things. So let's just start off with her chart first. She was born October 29th, 1972. Like I said, we don't have a birth time, but we're going to look at the planetary alignments. Now, first thing you want to notice about her chart is that she is a Scorpio. It's that her sun is probably at 5 degrees of Scorpio or 6 degrees of Scorpio, okay? It really depends on whether or not she was born in the morning or afternoon or evening. If she was born in the early morning, it'll probably fall at 5 degrees of Scorpio. If it was later in the evening, it'll probably be at 6. We just put it at 12 o'clock today. Well, then basically 12 p.m. We put the sun up high as we usually do when we don't rectify a chart. So now what you'll notice about her chart is she does have Venus in Virgo. Now, anytime someone has Venus in Virgo, and you are going to encounter this if you are studying the craft or you are into astrology, what you're going to notice about individuals with Venus in Virgo, you're going to notice that it is very hard for them to date, okay? If they don't have any trine aspects leading up to Venus, it's going to be hard for them to date, okay? Venus is in its fall in Virgo. So it's, Venus rules love, all right? Love, relationships, stuff like that. So Venus is not in a good sign in Virgo. So if you see or have an individual like that, it could be yourself, but you'll realize, why you've been having difficulty in relationships, unless, not the all police, don't let the all police come out. Shout out to AMS on saying that. I'm not saying all individuals because everybody's different. And if you got a sextile aspect to Venus, or you got a nice trine, that sextile is going to give you the opportunity for love and relationships. That trine is going to make it easy for you to be in loving relationships. So if you have those aspects, that's good. But overall, it's still going to be difficult starting out. All right. And the reason is because it's in that Virgo, and you want everything perfect. They want that man or woman to be perfect. It doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman. Okay. If you got this astrological construct, planetary construct in your chart, you're going to want that perfect person to be perfect. You're going to want, them to have perfect this, perfect that. And you're going to dismiss them if they don't have that. All right. So that person has to fit them, perfectly, basically. All right. So you got that going on. Juno is in Scorpio. So she has that going on. Now, Venus is semi-squaring Juno. All right. So relationships, they're going to be a little difficult unless she finds someone perfect, right? And we're going to get into that because that's why she sees him as the perfect guy, because of some of the qualities that he has. She saw him as the perfect man. That is the reason it was so hard for her to pull away when all that stuff was going on with him, okay? The whole cheating thing and all that, him having a baby, when they was on a break, all right? And supposedly, she didn't pull away. She said, hey, you know what? Nope, man, he's perfect. So she saw him as the perfect guy. And when you have that, the only thing they adjust to them. Okay. Now, as far as longevity, when it comes to relationships, no. I would say no, because she didn't have longevity, because Saturn is in conjunct. Okay. Is in conjunct Saturn at 19 degrees of Gemini. Now, like I said, she adjusted. The only way to have a long-term relationship is to adjust to the person she's with. All right. So just keep that in mind. All right. Now, what has brought on this whole divorce now is the solar eclipse that occurred last year, April 30th, 2022. All right. That kind of ended everything. Okay. It wasn't a direct hit. So that's the reason it's happened a year later. All right. Or, it's happening. It's probably going to happen next year too, where the divorce is going to be final or whatnot. So, that eclipse occurred at 10 degrees of Taurus. Okay. So when that occurred, that created an opposition with Juno. Okay. That created an opposition with Juno right there. Okay. So that kind of, put a whole ending to their marriage. Okay. Juno rules marriages and relationships. So someone was in opposition of the marriage. Okay. Now, let's just take a look at his chart really quickly. Try to get through this so we won't be prolonging. All right. So he was born January 17th, 1982. All right. Now, the sun was at 27 degrees of Capricorn. All right. So, yeah, he works. Workaholic. Good to go. Now, Venus. Look at his Venus. And it is in Aquarius at 3 degrees. It is retrograde. And what do we say about Venus retrograde? Now, we've gone over this in other charts, okay? When we had Venus retrograde in other charts, in other celebrity charts. If you've been, watching my channel, we've gone over this. When Venus is retrograde, what does that person do? They're taking love for granted. They took love for granted. They're going to have to learn that lesson of not taking love for granted. Okay. So he has Venus retrograde. It's in Aquarius. Now, Aquarius is Uranus ruled. Okay. So, and Uranus rules a lot of stuff, guys. All right. Let me just say that. But it's just so happened that we're talking about relationships and stuff like that with these guys. So, Uranus, you're going to hear Uranus a lot because it rules infidelity, and a lot of the relationships we've been going over, they've had infidelity involved, right? So you're going to hear a lot about Uranus and a lot about Aquarius. It is the Aquarian age, so it falls under a lot of different things. But one thing it does rule, Uranus does rule homosexuality. All right, so just keep that in mind. I didn't make the rules. I didn't make the rulerships, but it's the Aquarian age, right? That comes along with the Aquarian age. But you got Uranus at 3 degrees of Sag right there. All right, so it's sextiling Venus, so that creates an opportunity for him to have unconventional relationships and stuff like that. Because Aquarius is unconventional. Uranus is unconventional. Okay, so he's going to have unconventional love affairs, unconventional relationships. Okay, you're going to see that. That's what happens when you have that Venus in Aquarius, and it's retrograde. On top of that, it's combust. Okay, it's right by the sun at 27 degrees of Capricorn. So it is debilitated. So just keep that in mind, guys. It is debilitated. His Venus is semi-squaring Juno. So they both have Venus semi-squaring Juno. That's why I wouldn't have recommended them get married, okay? Because they don't do good in marriage. It's not, and we're going to look at some of the things that kind of carry them through, okay? Because they've been married for so long, you would think, right? But they're good together, but not really, okay? Some of the things carried them on to a certain point, okay? But not all the way, all right? So let's just take a look at the time he proposed to her, okay? Let's just take a look at that date. All right. Now, uh, rumor goes around that he was still married at the time he met her. So I'm gonna say this: if you ever see or experience, meeting someone while they're in a relationship or you're in a relationship, when you start out and basically what you're doing, you're manifesting some deceitful energy, okay? Because you're under the whole energy of a deceitful activity, okay? And the planets to show that, okay? So, and as you can see throughout the years with a lot of couples, if they met under a deceitful energy, guess what? The relationship doesn't fare out. It just doesn't. It's just universal energy. And you can tell a lot of guys who've met women, they tried to marry the side chick. It just doesn't work because it was under energy that was very deceitful. And, okay, so it undermined the relationship from the beginning due to the planetary alignment. So it all lines up. So when he proposed to her, okay, and that whole proposal came because of a solar eclipse that occurred in her chart at 11 degrees of Scorpio. So November 3rd, 2013, okay? So November 3rd, 2013, let's just go back to her chart for a second. There was an eclipse that occurred, and it's sat right on top of her Juno at 11 degrees. So anytime an eclipse hits Juno like that or Venus like that, it's going to be a marriage, okay? Because Juno rules marriages. So that eclipse occurred at 11 degrees of Scorpio. So she was going to get married regardless, okay? It could have been somebody else, but she decided to stick with him, and he popped the question because, look, solar eclipses, they're very powerful. That's what I said. See, that's what I'm talking about. Here's another example of how solar eclipse is so powerful because the eclipse happened November 3rd, 2013. Okay, it was a direct hit. It was absolute because it occurred at 11 degrees of Scorpio. So that eclipse was right on top of her Juno. So right there, that was a really good thing, right? I mean, literally, that was a good thing. So that occurred right on top of her Juno. So, and it happened immediately, didn't it? Because it was a direct hit. Solar eclipses last up to 3 years. But if it's in the same degree as that certain point, planet, or asteroid, the effects of it is going to be immediate. Sometimes it's not, but in this case, it was immediate because he proposed to her on December 21st, 2013, okay? That's right after the eclipse, okay? So he proposed marriage to her. That's why she said yes. She said, wait a minute, yes, I feel like it. So, and that's the reason that occurred, all right? Now, let's look at this date real quick, really quickly. All right, now, as you know, December 21st, 2013, the sun was at 29 degrees of Sag. And what did we say about critical degrees? Here we go again, right? It's at a critical degree. 29 degrees. It's very unfavorable, of course, because it's too late. So it's operating at a disadvantage. So this proposal, this engagement was already operating at a disadvantage before it even started. All right. So that's just their engagement day. And during this time, of course, Juno was squaring Saturn. So the longevity wasn't even there then. However, Juno was sextile in the sun. So it created the opportunity for them to get married. So that was good. Mercury on this day, it's in Sag. Okay, Mercury's in its detriment in Sag. All right. So basically, somebody was already thinking, like, I'm gonna change because it's not a good sign. It's very detrimental, right? It was already changing their mind about the relationship already, just from that proposal. All right. It probably wasn't her. It was probably him, but just in the future, though, he was thinking like, yeah, I might change my mind in the future, okay? And again, you're proposing to a person under what? a mutable sign. What do we say about mutable signs? They're not really good for long-term commitments, all right? So there you go with that. Now, on the wedding day, let's just take a look at the wedding day, all right? Now, the wedding day, August 30th, 2014, all right? Again, the sun was at 7 degrees of Virgo, mutable sign. That's sealing the deal again already, all right? So we know that's not good. It's an immutable sign. So they got married under a mutable sign, which is changing. It's changeable, all right? Also, the sun, it created a sextile with Juno. So, I mean, that was good. It created the opportunity for marriage. That was good. Now, as far as the longevity, why have they been together for so long? Well, we got to take a look at Saturn because Saturn rules time, right? Now, we know Saturn was trining Juno and Chiron, all right? So that's good. I mean, you know, you had a nice little trine going on, especially with Chiron. That's a turning point in life. But Saturn, it was in a separating aspect. And when something separates, when a planet is separating from another planet, it's losing power, okay? So it lost its longevity, all right? So that's why it's ending the way it's ending right now. Now, what took them through was that grand trine that they had, okay? Juno was in a grand trine with a lot of stuff, like the Moon, Ceres, Vesta, and Saturn. So that's why the marriage lasted so long, because Juno was trining Saturn, okay? But it just ran out of time because of that separating aspect that Saturn had to Juno, okay? So although that grand trine was there, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to keep them married. It just wasn't, okay? Because they had that, that square going on or whatnot. But it just wasn't enough due to the separating aspect. Okay, I will say that. But that's what's going on with them. This is a short video about them. Right now, Uranus is at 21 degrees of Taurus. So that's going to be coming up, squaring a lot of stuff. So yeah, the divorce is coming, unfortunately. But they did have a lot of compatibility. It was sexual compatibility, though. I will say that, especially with his part, on his part. So, but yeah, that's that couple. They're a couple that unfortunately, the relationship has run its course. All right. So there's really nothing we can do about it. There's really nothing they can do about it. At this point, they definitely should go their separate ways, because he definitely wants something else. Okay, I can tell you that right now. Again, his Venus is at 3 degrees of Aquarius. He was born January 17th, 1982. Of course, Uranus rules a lot of stuff. And Venus in Aquarius, he's looking for something that's unconventional right now. So, but that's all I got to say about that, guys. Leave your comment below. Like and subscribe. Let me know what you think. Peace.